Hello, I'm Gil Zilkha. Welcome to my channel, Essential Classical Music, where we look at the best recordings of the standard classical music repertoire. This video is taken out of my larger video on the great conductors and their best recordings. I hope you enjoy it. Now let's talk about, yet again, another, again, like Reiner, a Hungarian conductor who came to the US and made his name here. That's George Szell. Now it's pronounced Szell. I tend to fall into Zell. I'm trying to correct that. For some reason, I can never get away from it, because I've heard it said that way so many times. It just sounds more natural. But it is actually George Szell. And he made his name, of course, with the Cleveland Orchestra. And Szell was known for, like Reiner, his meticulous clarity. And also his orchestral execution. You could always count on Szell's orchestras to deliver the goods. They never sounded slack. He always brought this wonderful energy to everything he conducted. So he tended to be at his best in music that brought that to the fore. He was also, like Reiner, a conductor who was very good in Richard Strauss. And I'm going to start with what is probably the most famous recording that Szell did. And that's his 4 last songs that he recorded with Elizabeth Schwarzkopf in the late 60s. Beautifully recorded and just beautifully interpreted. Very natural, wonderfully nuanced, gorgeous sounding. Schwarzkopf sounds wonderful. Not everyone is a Schwarzkopf fan. I think some people think that she was maybe a little too precious with her emphasis on text. I don't hear it that way. I think she sounds gorgeous and perfect for the work. And it's really one of the iconic recordings of all time for good reason. Now, for Strauss, though, I do want to mention a couple of more strictly orchestral works as well that Szell and Cleveland just did wonderful jobs with. One is Tod und Verklärung, Death and Transfiguration. And then also this disc, which includes Don Juan and Till Eulenspiegel's Lustige Streiche. Strauss is a great vehicle for a conductor orchestra, and not to mention sound engineer combinations that deliver the goods and give you the detail and give you the clarity and the beautiful playing and the exciting playing. It all comes together, and you just can't go wrong with Szell and Cleveland in these works. So another one of those recording matches that we're just lucky to have. Now, I also want to mention, Szell's Dvorac Slavonic dances. This is a set of works that he specialized in, and this is his stereo recording, which just sounds brilliant. It's just wonderfully executed, wonderfully recorded, really exciting, but also nuanced and beautiful where it needs to be. It's a set of works that he obviously was close to his heart, and they really do a great job of selling them. Great character, great energy. You can't go wrong with these. Now, Szell was also known for his Mozart, and I think a symphony that really brought out that aspect of that energy that he had is the Hner Symphony, Symphony number 35, with that fun romp of a finale. Just a really a sunny interpretation that really puts you in a good mood. And then next, I also want to mention for Szell, a modern composer, 20th century Paul Hindemith, who this is his symphonic metamorphosis on themes of Carl Maria von Weber. And Hindemith wanted the brilliance of his orchestral writing to come out. And so he was thinking of those prototypical American orchestras with their virtuosic sound. And that's exactly what you get here. It's like the work was written for Szell and Cleveland. So it's not as well known a work, as say something from Beethoven and Mozart, but it's really one that was tailor-made for Szell, and again, one that we're lucky to have them have recorded for us in pretty good sounding stereo. And then lastly, I have to mention for George Szell, one of his recordings, at least one of his recordings, where he was the accompanist for a soloist, usually a piano, could also be cello, violin, of course. George Szell was just everywhere in the recording universe, from way back in the 30s all the way through the end of the 60s. He has so many iconic recordings where he's the accompanist for these great soloists, and maybe part of it was because he could always be counted on to, like I said, deliver the goods, the orchestral execution, the faithful reproduction of the score in a way that's both nuanced and dramatic, and whatever the score is calling for. One work that he especially was known for, and it's one that lends itself to good accompaniment, is the Brahms First Piano Concerto. I've heard it before called, it's like a symphony with piano obbligato, meaning that like the piano is almost sort of added to a symphony, because it is a really powerful work in terms of the orchestral writing. And Szell recorded it, to my knowledge, 4 different times, and they're all fantastic. One way back in the 30s with Arthur Schnabel, and then 3 of them I think they're all from the 60s, with Rudolf Serkin, Clifford Curzon, and Leon Fleischer. All fantastic as well. The one that I especially recommend is the one with Curzon, partly due to the engineering. The John Culshaw Decca engineering is fantastic in this recording. And by the way, the orchestra in this case is, I think it's the London Symphony in this case, not the Cleveland. But in any case, they're pretty good, and they do just fine with Szell. In fact, more than fine. It's just one of the most powerful openings to this work you'll ever hear. And then Curzon had this wonderful artistry and touch that he brought to the solo part. So it's another one of those iconic concerto recordings, and one that I just have to mention if I'm bringing up great George Szell recordings. Thanks for watching. I want to wish you all a great day and happy listening.